8 months later, and the hoes are back in town. How about that? How about that for an intro?
Pretty badass.
We
Julian,
started off with
how about
lame.
you shut up
Oh,
until we introduce you? You know, Julian,
the
you're the
girls are
guest
getting
here.
catty.
The people.
You know
The
what?
people.
No, please. I agree.
I like to abuse hospitality.
You know what? That's
Yeah,
not how
I
we roll
know.
here on Prof Hour.
It's like the people turn in because of us. You know, like you're just like the extra. You know,
We're the talent. You're the guest. Like we
like the
let
funny
you
bit.
into our safe space. You know.
Well, I was thinking tonight I was going to take over, but all right.
No one wearing what you're wearing right now is taking over. That half-draped suit jacket and that naked chest, to describe it to the viewers who can't see us right now, which is all of you actually. Anyways.
Yeah. So
welcome back.
How about we start by informing our viewers of what we've been up to in the meantime.
It's been almost a year.
Almost.
How crazy is that? It's actually quite nuts if you think about it. The person I was when we started recording and then now, I didn't think it would get worse, but it did.
You think?
Yes. Rock bottom does not exist. Not to quote BoJack Horseman.
How did it get
There's
worse?
always a rockier bottom. I don't know. Do you remember how like I was seeing someone and that was kind of cool, like we were kikiing, whatever. That ended.
Didn't work out that well.
I ended it though. It did not work out that well. He's definitely going to see this as well, so I'm going to hold back on what I'm going to say because I've already fucked up too many times.
Oh yeah. What else are you doing?
What?
What else are you doing?
What else am I doing? Well, uni's over and I was unemployed for a bit. And then I wasn't unemployed anymore and I'm working, which sucks so bad. I hate being a functioning member of society. It's not for me.
Yeah,
and also like
work, you know, like you're too smart.
No, you're so right. Like, I reckon I should be in academia, write a book, make loads of money.
You know, it's funny because that's exactly what Julian's plan is.
Yeah, but Julian's a man, so it's like we've been there, done that. We've been there, done that.
Yeah, maybe
Julian doesn't have that much influence, you know. Like, I'll bring this up, but I posted a certain thirst trap last night, and I removed it from my private, and I mained it, and Julian thought it was all about him.
Well, I still think I gave you the impulse to do so.
You literally told me that I wasn't as wise as I thought I was, when that's obviously a lie. And then I put on my main to show all the people that I was actually serving.
How
about that?
To show me that I was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I do. I prove men wrong.
Yeah, so I think it was still about me.
Well, you kind of think everything is about you, so that's not very.
That's how it works.
Don't spoil it for guests. They have to figure it out themselves. That Julian is a raging narcissist, like we did.
Oh, what are you saying? A narcissist?
Spoiler.
A psychopath? Even?
Spoiler
No.
Mikey, what have you been doing? I want to know what you've been doing, sweet boy.
I haven't been doing much, to be honest. You know, doing a master's now, and it's kind of gone to shit. But you know, I moved to Glasgow, but I feel like everything else is the same. You know,
everything is the same. It kind of sucks. I feel like every day is the same.
Yeah.
Not in like a sad way,
boring,
like
you know?
Dead ass.
Like I think I'm missing your influence. You know, I'm living with this guy Julian, who happens to be on the podcast, and you know, life is just not as exciting with him as it is with you. You know, like
you're so real for that. I wish I had someone like me in my presence.
Yeah.
I mean, life is boring without you too, man. Like, who's gonna entertain me all day? Who's gonna tell me that I need to write a book all day? You know?
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I feel like you and Julian are quite similar, but you know, I don't really think Julian deserves. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Mikey, I feel like you're feeding
differences.
into. I feel like
it's fine.
You're feeding into like a narcissist face-off here.
The narcissist
really?
face off. That's Loki's so real.
It's kind of what
I
it
feel
is,
like you're a massive narcissist as well, Loki, but you keep it on the DL. I feel like you keep it on the DL, but like you know you're better than everyone else.
Well, he thinks so, right?
One would think.
Well, I feel like the thing with Mike is that in my presence, he just realizes he can never be first. He always has to be content with being second, and I think that has really done wonders for his humility.
To be honest, I think I've been pretty humble, around Carly as well, and Carly's smarter than you because she manages to keep me around without upsetting me, like whenever you're in my presence, I kind of feel this like I feel that there's the presence of a parasite,
That was kind of real.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
You like I do give such a nourishing, enriching, stimulating presence, and you just kind of leech, you just kind of sink your little teeth in there.
I think it's about giving and taking, I think it's not
we'll
just
get into your giving and taking very soon, my friend.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Very soon.
Yeah, but it's actually strange because I'm making food for both of you, and the only thing I'm getting back from both of you is like your compliments, your presence, your niceness. But somehow when you do it, Julian, I kind of don't enjoy it as much,
He doesn't give compliments. He doesn't give presents and niceness.
I think the problem is that my compliments aren't genuine.
Yeah. That's.
Do you realize what a heinous person you just compared me to earlier?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't.
I'm right. You're sorry.
Mean it that way. You know it.
Yeah,
I'm literally about to throw up.
How did you mean it then? That Carly has like all the positive attributes I do, and like
there's literally nothing I can do that's wrong. Like I've been saying this for ages. Like nothing I do is wrong.
That's pretty true.
I literally don't make mistakes, ever.
Fair enough.
Of course you would.
How about we get on with what we've been doing, because that's what the viewers are here for. They want to hear us talk about shit and calm and piss.
Yeah.
And maybe vomit if we move on to it.
It is quite intellectually stimulating to hear you talk about that.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, I'm glad.
Oh my god, you're so
One
flattering.
of his genuine compliments,
Aw, that was so nice of you. I believed it.
Yeah.
You know what my delusion is believing that was real, that was something genuine coming from the back of the heart, Took a while to drag that one out.
Just look at him.
Why are you wearing this blazer with nothing underneath is my question. Well, I really hope this video works so we can publish it, because this is something that the people have to see.
I do like my chest hair to have a bit of airflow, It's quite nice.
So speaking about your physique, I would like to bring up the topic of your feet.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to that. I've been expecting that.
I've been waiting to tell you this because, we haven't really interacted that much. But I recall on Halloween when, after we went to the bar, we were watching Saw 2, you got that sweaty slab of meat out, naked, right? And you were wearing those mesh socks.
Yeah.
And there was some sort of odor emitting from your feet, and it was so terrible. So I just wanted to let you know that cannot happen again.
That's very kind of you.
It was so bad. Like, what was up with that? It literally filled the room, Julian. It filled the room.
Yeah.
I wrote about it in my letterbox. I don't know if you saw that. Like, I directed that to you. I was hoping that you would read it.
Oh, I actually haven't read that. I'll take a note to read that later. That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I think
I'm gonna write that down right now.
I think Julian didn't have any awareness about having incredibly tiny feet.
Beautiful hobbit feet, strong and functional.
They look like hands. Like, it's so weird.
Oh,
They're so wide they grip the floor. It's so like grotesque.
Yeah.
There's something about it, like.
well,
He's only
the
been
thing
wearing
is,
like
what-
his barefoot shoes for like years, you know? Like he's not wearing normal like running shoes or sneakers or whatever. You know, it all has to be barefoot shoes because that strengthens his hobbit feet, you know?
well,
You-
what are feet supposed to be, really? Okay, they're the hands of the
of
leg.
the... I was really waiting for him to say they were hands of the feet. I could hear you thinking about that, like trying to say
Yeah,
legs.
No,
I could see those corns turning.
I realized that before I made that mistake. But no, I mean, think about it. We're like, we're monkeys, okay? We're monkeys in clothes. And what is the original purpose of our feet? It's to grip branches. Well, it's kind of hard to take myself seriously here, but hear me out.
Yeah, Breeze. I really like that this is so safe for you that you feel that you can just chat so much, Breeze.
Well, I hope my future employer never sees this, but
oh, they won't. They won't.
Yeah. Wait, which future employer are we talking about? You know, like
I did ask what.
I thought you were gonna become a best-selling author. You know, self-employed.
Quit him.
I don't know. Then I guess my publisher or something.
Well,
I don't know how or in what shape of success or what shape of kind of successful I'm gonna be, but well, I know that
right.
so that's enough, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
so
also
how
don't
about
think I'll have to put in any hard work. I think it will come naturally because
okay,
of my...
well, not to interrupt you while you're on such an interesting flow. Why didn't you introduce yourself? Because you still haven't done that.
Oh, what is there to say? I mean, if you look up my name in the internet, it shows up as musical artist.
Is that because you make techno music?
Yeah.
I saw that you sent me some kind of link, but I did choose to avoid to open it.
Well, I think that was a very good decision.
Well, you know what? We might have the joy to present the viewers with your techno. I wouldn't mind playing it out loud.
Yeah, I'd have to give you the license to do that. And seeing as I'm not particularly proud of my own work, I'm gonna not gonna do that.
Yeah, why do you publish it then?
Well, you know.
Yeah, why'd you send me the link?
Because I sent it to like 100 people.
Oh,
so humble.
Yeah.
Wow, that really ruined it for me then.
I was just gonna farm some plays on SoundCloud. That was the idea. And then...
Doesn't feel special at all now.
No,
I really felt like we had a connection.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's tough, I know.
So musical artist.
Yeah.
Is that what? So is that all you do? Is that what you do all day?
It's my primary occupation.
What's your secondary occupation?
My secondary occupation is philosophy, enriching the world with unbelievable wisdom. And yeah,
it's one way to put it.
Yeah.
What about CS:GO player?
Oh no,
is that a font of your wisdom?
That career is in the past.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Well, like a month ago, you know, but a month is a long time. A lot can happen
in
a month.
True.
I've found that out like a lot of times in my life. Basically, every month I found that out.
Okay, so Julian, when we moved in together.
So wise, so profound.
I was gonna say, you know,
every month you find out.
What am I?
You know that's kind of real. That's kind of real though, because I feel like every time I say I need God to send me a bone, something terrible happens. Almost every month. So you were kind of real with that one.
I think you might pray to the wrong God.
You know what? Like, I wasn't really on the Catholicism grind, But then shit got bad, and I was like, okay, let me start praying to God again.
Yeah, not a good.
It gets worse every time. No, it didn't work.
Yeah.
I went from manifesting to praying to God, but then all my manifestations, like the opposite happened. So like maybe I am the queen of manifesting. Oh my god, I didn't fuck Vinny Hacker. Oh no.
I think.
Oh wait. You know, I found out he has a girlfriend. We can talk about that if you want. I don't really want to, but I'm like deep into Reddit, like trying to find out like who that's like arm belongs to. The Reddit girls, they're on something else. It's kind of nice down there. So I spend my days doing instead of making money and farming Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like some.
Real.
So, is that all you want to contribute to our podcast? Like philosophy, and that's it?
I you know, what am I here for? I'm here to properly enlighten the listeners of this podcast and spread the word, you know.
How about you enlighten me with your relationship with our little co-host, Daddy Dom?
Daddy Dom? Who's Daddy Dom? Is that
what?
Like
why don't you take
Mike?
A guess?
Is that Magic Mike?
Have you listened to any of our episodes before?
I've listened to like the first 5 minutes of the first episode, so I would consider myself an avid listener of Prophet Hour. Big fan here. Yeah.
Well, Michael here.
Is Daddy Dom like the? I remember something about like Austrian mountain boy, gay porn, OnlyFans, and so
we talk about.
Daddy Dom is like the version of Mike, which is like a I don't know, if he had like I guess he'd need more hair on his body and like a lederhosen, and then he would just make some gay porn where he really goes in and dominates some city boys, some like English city boys.
What the fuck are you talking about? That's quite graphic. Well,
yeah, I'm just
let him go on that.
You want to know what the fuck your fantasies are?
I'm envisioning Daddy Dom, and that would be your alter ego. Well, you've got, you know, another alliteration here: Magic Mike, Daddy Dom.
You know, that's the thing. When you're on podcasts with Julian, it's quite really hard to say something because he just doesn't shut his mouth for like an hour. You know, like when we did our German little philosophy podcast, it was like 50 minutes of him talking, and he gave me like 10 minutes each episode. You know, enlightening the world with his fucking philosophical thoughts. Yeah, what did the markers of your last essay think about that? You know.
Yo,
what did they think about your fucking philosophical thoughts?
Oh, and you're roasting me like a.
Did they fuck you over? What did you get? Did you get a tutu?
I honestly I don't remember exactly. It wasn't good. It was something. It was like I think it was like a second something. No, but I honestly don't remember. I don't know. I'm in it for the degree. I'm not in it for good academic performance. I would just
spoken like a true academic. You're so real for that.
Like to have a PhD in front of my name someday. Might take a while, okay, but you know, so I can continue thinking that I'm better than other people. That's really what it's about.
You know what it is? Like, if Julian gets a PhD, they really do be given out to anyone. Like, there is no. Like, they really be giving it to anyone these days. Damn. Maybe I should get a PhD. We actually had this conversation, like, one of the last days of uni. Mikey and I are actually going to get PhDs, but ours will actually be respected, unlike some.
Yeah, you know, I think you're just smart to do a PhD, you know? Like, Julian is just doing it for the honor, you know, for having done it. Like, that's pretty much all Julian does, you know? He runs like a half marathon, so he can walk around and tell his friends they just run a half marathon, you know? It's not about if he's doing well. It's just about him, you know, really boasting with his minor accomplishments, you know?
Yeah, it's that I'm a pretentious person. That's what it is.
At least you're honest.
Yeah.
At least you're aware.
Yeah. Doesn't make that it much more horrible, you know? Like, Why
Yeah.
wouldn't he fucking lie about it? You know, like why is he revealing himself so much? I don't understand. You know.
Well,
I'm gonna look at our list of questions. So the first thing we have is, where did it all go wrong, Julian? What happened?
Well, that's a tough one. Okay.
We can start with like wherever in the timeline for you.
I'm gonna take off my sunglasses and start the real talk here. Okay.
Oh god. He's gonna monologue for like 30 minutes. Oh.
Yeah, I'm also gonna open one more button just for the realness, you know. See me.
How about we do a hairline check for the viewers?
Yeah.
It's actually looking pretty sharp today. No worse before.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I had a good Turkish hairdresser. No, I had a good Turkish hairdresser. He did a good job at covering up my receding hairline. But
I'm low-key balding as well.
Yeah.
But it's fine because I'm a girl.
Honestly, Carly, I think you should get a buzz cut. I think the viewers want it as well.
I think already, like, not to be homophobic, too many people think I'm a lesbian.
Yeah, people also think that I'm gay, you know? So.
You know, my parents thought you were gay. They were like Mikey and his gay friend.
Well, honestly, it happens to me like all the time. It literally happened to me at some point in my adventurous life that I had sex with someone, and afterwards they told me, "Oh, I thought you were gay. I'm so surprised." I was like, "Okay, that's pretty funny." Well, okay, where did it go wrong? Okay, how to say? I think. I think probably around the time when I was born. I don't know. I think that might have been it.
So shit! You literally roasted Mikey about his lame opening, and that was lame, bro. That was lame.
Yeah, you know, if you give me questions like that, you know.
Okay.
How about we
do you want a more specific question? How about that?
Yeah, we've got one for you, Mikey. Please take the floor.
Yeah. So Julian, do you want to tell the viewers? Julian, what's your relationship to Cambodia?
Oh, I can't believe you fucking dicked this up, man.
Please enlighten me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, seeing as I'm here to be thoroughly roasted, which I do agree with, I actually deserve, because I can be a bit of an asshole sometimes. So
oh my god, get to the point, please.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm just prolonging this, so I'm hoping people turn off while I ramble on and they don't have to hear the story about Cambodia. But yeah, so what connects me with Cambodia is a night many years ago where I had intercourse with this Cambodian lady who was pretty big. And
Mikey, why is that so funny?
Mikey, you're being very.
I'm not laughing.
How big is pretty big? We need specifics.
Yeah, Julian. Why are you mentioning that she was pretty big in your words? Why are you mentioning that?
Well,
I heard morbidly obese.
This is the reason you brought this up. Okay, so I'll have to mention that, you know. Well, okay, so.
Please enlighten me.
Yeah. Pretty big, like hard to breathe big, okay?
Like, when she was on top of you, did you get a black eye, like with the tits big as well?
I can't say I have, but that would have been pretty funny.
I'm just trying to get a reference on the size of the body. The build.
Honestly, I you know, it's not like I asked her to step on a scale, so.
Imagine the requirement.
You know,
Imagine, I can really picture that being something that he does. Step on the scale first. I don't know why you're actually so surprised. Like, this is very typical behavior.
But you know, the little tidbit that makes the story a bit funnier is that for some reason, long story, okay, I ended up lying in a bed between her and her best friend, and they were having a discussion whether or not having a threesome with me would ruin their friendship. And then one of them was just like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna go into the kitchen. You guys have fun." That was pretty awkward.
You seem to get into quite a few threesomes from what I've heard.
Why is this episode about my sex life, okay?
Yeah, your sex like oh.
Are you so interested in my sex life?
I feel like your sex life is quite bizarre and interesting. I feel like people would want to hear about it.
Yeah. Well, so it's not a personal interest in my sex life.
I've heard it all, you know. I just want what's best for the pod. He's obviously not an experienced podcaster like me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did kind of do a podcast with him, but you know,
not the same.
He's a bit uncomfortable, you know.
Yeah,
what was your podcast even about? Like, what would you talk about? Like, different philosophers every day, different concepts.
Yeah.
Different philosophical questions.
Yeah, I think Julian believes that he's really unhinged, but if you look into it, he's not that unhinged, you know. Like, I think he just kind of smartly surrounds himself with people that are kind of nuts, you know, and he takes that as his own unhingedness. But he's pretty standard sometimes, you know. Like when I moved in with him, he was just like spending 7 hours a day gaming and playing Cyberpunk or whatever. I was kind of hoping for the same craziness I experienced living with you, but it was just a bit of a downgrade, you know.
I feel like I'm pretty sane.
Yeah, sometimes.
I'm pretty regular. Never done anything that strange before.
No.
Well, Mike. Okay, now, what was the craziness that Carly provided?
Feel free to enlighten me.
Craziness. I think, you know, it's like the way she fully used the depths of the freedom of expression, you know? Like, you might be in your room and suddenly you hear somebody screaming something through the house, you know? And it would be Carly, you know?
Usually a slur.
Yeah. And, you know, you don't even have the same cultural awareness, you know? I feel like living with Carly was like kind of being ahead of time, you know? Like you would get to experience what's gonna be like modern in a few weeks, you know, just beforehand.
That's so real. I actually do know the trends before everyone else. I've been saying this for ages.
Yeah.
You know why? It's because I'm so chronically online that I can tell when things are gonna get popular like really quickly as soon as I see them, and I'm like, yeah, I'll be that, and then it will come in like a month, and I'm like, I told everyone, but it's like, it's because I'm not normal. Like I spent all my time on the internet. That's why. Yeah, I mean, that's other than that,
different.
Other than my like rampant sex life and all of that.
Yeah, tell us about your sex life, Carly.
It's so eventful right now. I've actually got no men on my roster. You know what? Like,
well, tell us about the women.
I've got no women on my roster either. I wish I could like be here and be like, I'm fucking hella girls right now. I don't leave the house. It's not my thing.
Well, I mean, you still must have a sex life, no?
I'm like very celibate, but it's very voluntary this time. I feel like my last celibacy arc was not voluntary, but dead ass, like my last celibacy, I was so funny, bro. I was reading through my tweets from when I was celibate. I was literally pumping out bangers every day. So like it does something to your brain. It makes you so funny. Well, and I go through this like.
I mean, I assume you're still, you know, like even though you're not having sex with other people, you must still pleasure yourself somehow. I don't know. You could tell us about your masturbation habits.
Why are we talking about my masturbation habits?
I feel like that's a fair topic.
You know, like It's not that interesting though. Like, there's nothing like very interesting about it. It's not crazy. Like, I'm not like a crazy masturbator, like doing it in day and stuff, like in
I was
public
expecting
places.
you. Well, but I was expecting you to like, I don't know, whip up a
I'm not
picture
like
of,
I'm not a pest, you know?
what is a pest?
Like a sex pest, like people who like
Okay.
jerk off in public and like to
Okay,
children.
okay. Well, that's not cool.
You know, I've actually been really into watching interviews with like undercover police who do like pedophile busting. Shit is so interesting. They have to like pretend to be a pedo like online and in person, and they like meet all the other pedos of the neighborhood. They like get together and like talk about little boys, and they get bust. And then it usually is little boys. So what's about that, you know? Why is that? As a philosopher, why little boys, you know?
I think you should ask the psychologist.
Oh yeah, you're so right. Why the little boys?
I have no fucking idea, man, you know?
Yeah, there you see why you should study philosophy and not psychology. Because
Yeah, well, but I could
as a
look it
philosopher,
up if I want to, you know?
as a philosopher, you'll always have the ability to talk some bullshit.
So when I asked you and you didn't reply and moved the question onto Mikey, was that what the philosophers do?
That
Deflect.
was yeah, that was my deflection exactly, because I really didn't know what to say as well. So yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was actually saying this to
Carly,
Mikey.
Carly, I still wanted to get into something, because we swiftly switched from your masturbation habits to pedophilia, which is.
I feel like that's just the spontaneity you get with me. You never know what we're going to talk about next.
So, but I was still curious. I don't know. How
you know, can I deadass say something really quickly? I have someone who actually thinks I'm a pedophile, and I like don't know where this has come from. Sarah's friend Hannah called me a pedophile.
Hannah.
Yeah,
really?
She was like, "Oh, like Alice, don't make jokes about like fucking kids." And I was like, "When did I make a joke about a fucking kid? Like, I would remember that banger, you know?" And no. So yeah, This is actually like this is a dead ass allegation against me, you know? Yeah. Who would have thought? I wish the allegations were like, "Oh my god, her tits are so big, her pussy's so wet," you know? But no, it's like you make jokes about pedophilia, which I don't do. Like, I don't think they're that funny. Like, I think like 2016 is over, you know? It was just like a niche interest of mine of the moment. Those YouTube videos.
2016. What happened in 2016, Carly?
Do you not remember? Do you not remember the like edgy meme pages, like the Reddit stuff? Do you not remember that?
Yeah.
I feel like that was really big in 2016. It was all like the pedo jokes and like the Hitler stuff. Like, I crack a Hitler joke every once in a while, but it's always tasteful and it's always to you because you're Austrian.
Yeah, like the Minecraft joke.
A Minecraft joke. Yeah. Which I was also ahead of the trends for, because then we actually saw someone mistake Minecraft for Minecraft.
That's pretty funny.
Man, but you made me post it on my Twitter and people made me take it down, you know?
Fucking pussy, bro. I was like, that's funny, post that. He posted it and he's like,
it yourself.
For 2 days, this man was so anxious about that tweet.
Honestly, Carly, I don't think you're allowed to call Mike a pussy when your Twitter is private. I think you should.
Oh my god, do you want to know why my Twitter is private? I actually have a reason for this. I was stalking someone who my friend Paris is friends with, who like we always make fun of, and I was stalking him. I was deep down. I was probably like 2014 tweets, you know, like I was years down the line, and I liked one of them by accident, and then he requested, like, I think he followed me because I was public, so I went private and removed him, and haven't been public since. But I feel
the private life.
I could go public, but I post my face on it now, so I don't really want people to ridicule me for my appearance.
I mean, you could have like a second, like public.
I have a public second account.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I post my cosplays on it.
Oh well, yeah, but you know.
Oh, do you mean like where I say I hate homos and stuff? You want me to make another one of those?
Exactly. Yeah.
Another like.
I'd really enjoy the interactions with like random Twitter users.
You know what? You've actually given me a good idea. I might invest some of my time into doing that.
That's fine. But well, okay. So before the train depart, I will just come back once more to your masturbation habits.
Feel free.
Yeah, I was gonna ask this burning question I've had on my mind. Really, it's very very curious.
Love that you think about this. Can I try and predict what you're about to say?
Yeah.
Are you gonna ask me if I like jerk off to Jean?
Well, I was gonna ask a more general question. I was gonna ask if you like, how often have you whipped up like some anime hottie on your phone and then just put on your vibrator to that like
no, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do porn because it rots your brain, and I don't do like pictures of people because I'm not like sexually attracted to like a picture, you know. I'll be like, that's hot, like I want to fuck him, but like it won't actually be like an attraction.
Okay.
Like a horn game, you know. I actually had this argument with my now ex because he was like, oh, like I follow this Twitter user. She used to be called Nowleem. She's called like Yuanoi now, YUANN. She makes like NSFW like anime POV art, and I like all of them because like she served that up, you know, like she served up that like Jean eating out that girl fan art. So like I'm gonna like it, you know. And he was like, oh, like, does this actually like turn you on? I'm like, no, like I feel like there's a male and woman like different sexual attraction thing going on with horniness. I feel like a man will look at a naked woman and like get hard, but I'm gonna look at Jean eating out that purse and be like, that's hot, but move on.
Fair enough. Okay.
Like no action in the nether, you know.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, Mike, have you ever masturbated to a picture of Timothée Chalamet?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
He's kind of hot in Call Me By Your Name when he plays the twink.
Yeah, Mike.
Do you think
is there a specific twink porn icon you take pleasure in seeing on the screen?
Nah, I don't think I could name one.
Or do you usually just go to Pornhub and like twink?
Do you watch porn, Julian?
I do, yes.
It's really terrible.
I do actually have a funny story of the first time I saw porn, because the first time I was like, oh, maybe that's when it went wrong. I don't know. But then again, there are a lot of instances where I could say that. Well, so when I was like 8 or 9, I was at a friend's place, and suddenly he comes and gets us, his friends, and brings us to the PC of his dad. And then he just goes onto XNXX and shows us this very grotesque video of a mouse crawling into something. And yeah, then his mom comes in. Okay, and she is pretty pissed. She's pretty pissed. She actually gave me the only spanking, or like all of us, the only spanking I can remember. It wasn't a really tough spanking, but she was very pissed. She thought, I don't know, we had like touched the devil or something. Yeah, it was quite fun.
Yeah, I feel like we were getting a bit more to the core of the question.
More to the what?
We're getting more to the core of the question, where it kind of all went wrong, you know? Like
getting
surely
spanked by someone else's
watching a video
parent.
of some mouse crawling inside a human body, you know? Like surely that's not good for you at the age of 8.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I feel like we should go back even further. Because it kind of turns out that Julian has a history of slightly traumatizing his friends, you know? And it turns out that it started quite early on. You know, I remember being at Julian's place when I was like 4 years old or something like that. And Julian has a pool, and suddenly Julian just like kind of starts drowning me, you know? Just like kind of keeps me underwater. And I think
that's just peachy,
isn't it? The reason why I became quite good at holding my breath, you know? Because I was like, what if I'm in the pool with Julian again, you know?
Now,
Oh,
Mike,
the
Mike,
trauma.
imagine the foresight I had. You know, I was thinking back then. I remember very vividly.
Of course, this is now
I'm,
about
I'm,
him.
I'm gonna
Okay.
make you a professional diver. That's what I was thinking back then. I'm
You were
gonna,
so
Yeah,
profound back then,
sure.
so woke. You
yeah.
just knew everything that was right, you know? What was I? Oh, I was going to say something I completely forgot. Well, what's it like living together, you know? Like, other than, you know, underwhelming for some, after having lived with such an entity, you know, such as myself. How do you feel living with Mike, Julian? You
I
know?
think I've talked quite a lot already. I don't know. I think Mike should go first. I think
Um,
Mike should say something nice.
so I don't
Don't
know.
feel
I think
obliged to say something nice. You can say something horrible as well.
yeah. You know, on the one hand, I feel like it's the best living situation I've had so far at uni because it's just a really nice flat, you know, and living with someone that you know quite well can be quite convenient because it kind of just like cuts out all the bullshit you'd have to deal with if you're living with people that are basically strangers.
Mm.
And I think the last year with Carly was pretty good already. But
Starting
living
off on
with
a high.
Julian, it's just like you know, we just know each other that bit better. Um, but yeah, it's sometimes a bit hard because like when you're around Julian a lot, it's kind of a given thing that he might get on your nerves just
Who
a
would
little
have
bit,
thought?
and there is a very real danger of having the feeling that Julian is enjoying your presence a bit too much and using it for his advantage, which he's obviously doing, but sometimes it's just getting quite a bit obvious. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I you know like and that's just like hindsight, but it kind of feels like that Julian very strategically lured me into coming to Glasgow, which is a decision I don't really regret. But
Not
I'm quite
particularly.
sure he was considering the benefits that would have for himself as well. Um, Namely that he wouldn't have to really care for looking for a flat, you know, and all the organizational stuff.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you know, um, I feel like so far we haven't had that many ups and downs, and it's been going quite well. I don't know.
That's very sweet, very wholesome.
Yeah. Yeah. That I didn't deserve that, but
Mm.
yeah, I think you're right, Mike. There definitely were some thoughts behind, uh, you know, sneakily proposing the idea of doing a master's degree in Glasgow, and I'm very satisfied I got my way with it.
Yeah, you know, it's like a tricky one because I don't know. I can't really be that mad at you because you know, without you, I perhaps wouldn't be studying in the UK, and like that's certainly one of the more formative decisions I've made,
Yeah.
or that you've make, and you're definitely a very influential character, you know. But the question is just like, is it a good influence, you know? Like, um, yeah, I don't know. I can't.
Well, you
Oh,
can thank me for meeting Carly. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
I think
You
we
you
should make
can
this
you can
about
suck both
Carly.
of our dicks at the same time with that one.
Yeah, I think we should make this about Carly.
yeah, maybe that's a
You know
good
what?
thing, you
I know
know.
you're
But
jesting, but everything is about me.
Well, you know, in my world, everything is about me. So good for
You're
you.
so real for that. I
Yeah.
thought we should talk about pop culture topics, namely Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
I don't know Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
I can actually do an imitation of her voice really well.
Go ahead.
Oh, I don't like being watched when I do things. I feel like I've done it on the pod before. It's I'm not gonna do it. I don't like being watched when I do things. But do you know
Well,
who she
but
is?
no,
Can
no,
I please round up who she is before
I
you
don't
go on
know
your
who she
tangent?
is, but I want to see the impression.
She's basically I'll get a picture up for you.
I want to see the impression. I don't want it to be spoiled by seeing the real thing first.
No, I have to show you. It's not like a visual impression. It's more vocal. I feel like I've nailed her voice. Wait. It's like the only voice I can do is the Gypsy Rose Blanchard voice, and it feels kind of surreal now that she's out of prison because I've been imitating her for like 7 years of my life. Like I used to imitate her in class, and people would be like, "Well, that's really weird," but yeah, it's kind of really surreal for me. She murdered her mom because she was a victim of Munchausen syndrome. Do you know what that is?
No.
You don't know what Munchausen syndrome is.
Oh,
I feel like it's-
Munchausen. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry for my pronunciation, guys.
That might quite apply to you, actually. You know?
You think
Oh,
so?
serve.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Isn't it like a thing where you quite, you know?
Is what she
Okay,
looked like.
She looked pretty scary, yeah.
Yeah, because her mum had convinced her that she had like a bunch of different developmental problems and that she was like allergic to sugar and stuff. And basically they made this TV series and they put in, you know, that girl who's like the really terrible actress. Wait. She's like the girl who does the Kissing Booth movies on Netflix. That one girl, you know, like
Can't say I've seen that.
God, I need some women on this podcast. Like, what the fuck? I can't wait till Mary does this. She's gonna be our best guest. Dead ass. I love that girl. God, what is her name? I'm sorry, guys. Keep talking. I'll find this. But yeah, basically, so she murdered her mom, and then now she's being released from prison, and it's like this massive meme on the internet because she's such an icon, you know? I mean, she's a victim of abuse, but she's such an icon.
I think you should do. I think you should do the voice. You know.
I want to get it up first. What's it called? It's like an Amazon Prime TV show. It's this one bit. It's not even her voice. It's the voice from the TV show from the trailer. Right. I'm gonna mute myself so I can.
That's a very niche impression.
Yeah.
You're really good at it. How useless is that? You know, like do people actually know who she is? Has anyone ever like? I
don't know if that's actually what she sounds like. It's just this this bitch ass is. Oh my god. Sorry, keep going.
Can you do any impressions?
Not well, no. I don't think so. Feel like I have some awareness of my talents and the ones I don't possess. So.
Okay, Julian, what would you say is a talent of yours that not enough people know about yet?
Okay.
Mine.
No, yours. Julian, but you can say as well.
I don't think I have any talents. I actually like, not to be sad, I just don't think I'm very good at anything.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true either. I think that's a lie. That's cap.
I'm joking.
But like, is there like a hidden talent of yours? Like, I don't know. You know, something that you've.
I can guess anyone's nipple, like where anyone's nipple is from their chest.
Where's my nipple?
Okay.
No, I have to be with you in person. I actually have video.
No.
Where's my nipple? Where's my nipple?
It's like you go. My trick, but it only works on my hand. Is you have to put the edge of your palm on your sternum, and then it's like a rotation and like a clasp, and I always get it every time on every single nipple. So I do it to men in bars. I'm like, if I can guess where your nipple is through your shirt, will you buy me a drink?
Does it work?
Yep, I've got a video of this guy getting actually.
Yeah, but how do you know that the guys don't lie? You know, like
because I can feel the nipple. Because I squeeze it, like I go ham on it, like, and usually I squeeze like a larger surface area just to know that I'm getting all that areola.
That's really quite a talent.
You're welcome.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, it's quite useful as well if it gets you a few drinks, you know.
Yeah, but I also don't really trust drinks from randoms because I'm a woman, you know. Yeah. I'm a woman in 2023.
Yeah, I've gotten a free drink once, and it was by some 50-year-old alcoholic, you know. So
Was it the
not
night
that.
where we were hanging with the SoundCloud rapper?
No, that was a different night. It was
But
way
didn't
back, way
you
back
get
in the
a
day, you know.
didn't you get a was it the soda getränk?
Was
Oh,
the
please,
soda
no
getränk?
German.
It was
No
the soda
German on the
getränk.
pod. No German
Yeah,
on the
I'm
pod.
sorry.
Sorry.
There was a really, really funny pun behind it.
Here it is.
It
But
only
it
works
only
in
makes sense in
German.
German. Yeah.
Look at that. Look how quickly he moved my hand away. Look how hard his nipple is from me squeezing it.
Wait.
Yeah.
I get it right there. Look at it. It's literally bulging.
What the fuck?
I get it every time. Look at his
Love it.
hand. Look at his hand, like. Oh,
Yeah, he's just way too aroused.
look at that grip on my wrist to push me away.
Oh damn.
Did you get a
And it's
drink afterwards?
all consensual. Yeah, I did. You know, one time I asked a guy, this is actually a really relatable story because it was last year, exactly tomorrow. It was New Year's Eve. It was New Year's Eve. One time I got a free drink from a guy. Like, me and the girly pops, we do like little challenges for ourselves on a night out. So, like, one of them will always be like, go get a free drink. So I was like, okay, let me like get my free drink now so I can do the rest of my challenges later, you know? So I go up to this victim and I'm like, oh, like, hey. He was like, oh, you're gorgeous. Like, you're so tall. Like, this guy was probably like, not to shame on short guys, like short kings, like Jeremy Allen White, I need you, but he was probably like 5'5", and I was wearing heels, so I was probably like 6 foot. Tall heels. And he was like, you're so tall, you're so gorgeous, like, let me get that number. And I was like, you can buy me a drink, actually. And then he goes to buy me a drink, and long story short, he like does not leave us all night. He like grabs my wrist, he's like, where do you think you're going? Like, yada yada. And then my other friend was really drunk, so she's like trying to chirps him to like get him off me or whatever. And then she gets in his car drunk, and then he's drunk as well, and then he steals her phone. So we spend all of New Year's of last year like trying to call her number, like, because he's got her phone. And then we're like, oh, we're gonna call the police, and he's like, if you call the police I'll get my guys on you, like all of this stuff. And that was
What
nuts.
a lovely result. What a lovely result.
I know, right? That's why New Year's is always the best day of the year, actually. I actually have a picture of me annoying him in the back of his car. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. How do you think your life would be different if you were, you know, like pretty much the same person, but you were a girl, you know? Like, do you think that would change anything?
Do you think you would be like me?
Well, that's for Mikey to decide, apparently, because we're that similar. Okay. No, I do think well, there's gonna be a a societal side to it, which I think is too serious for this podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'd slay. You know, I'd really slay.
You'd serve.
Yeah, I'd serve. Yeah. Maybe maybe I'd just be like Carly. You know, who knows?
I serve.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
We know.
So
we know.
what's your opinion
You know.
on the Barbie movie?
Well, I really liked it. I think it was.
Boo!
I think it was. Well, I watched Oppenheimer first, and I'm glad I watched Oppenheimer first, because I think if it had been the other way around, then I really might have left the cinema during Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Do you know Julian is a passionate feminist?
Please, let's get into that.
Yeah. Do you know why? Julian, do you want to explain why you believe that you're a passionate feminist?
Is it because you give head to girls? Is that it?
That's.
Did I guess?
That's the reason. Yeah, exactly. No. I don't know. Why am I a feminist? Am I a feminist? Can I be a feminist?
Oh my gosh! Get to the point, please, God, please.
No, you know.
What's your take on feminism, and how you contribute to it?
how could you be a feminist if you're like for the empowerment of women? I don't know. I don't think the I don't think feminism makes any super bold claims about how society should be like. I think they're really very very.
You know what? Let's stop it there
small
because that's
claims.
a very, very lame answer. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I I don't know
You
what I
could
should
have been
I was
answer.
funny or
hoping- I
said
was
something
hoping-
worthwhile, and you
I was
chose to do neither.
hoping we're gonna talk about him being a munch, but I think we should
Yeah.
we should switch the topic. That's not a philosophy podcast, you know.
Mm.
How about
You
how
could
about
have
we-
either said something funny or like been kind of real, and you did neither.
Yeah.
You
Julian, sorry.
literally did neither.
I got a question for
Sorry.
you. I got a question for Julian. Julian, do you think that you come a lot?
That I come a lot, like
Yeah.
ejaculate,
So I come a lot.
ejaculate.
Yeah. What else? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. You know, I
What constitutes as a lot?
In volume.
in volume. Wow.
Mm.
I don't know. Have you done?
What does that say about a man?
Have you like ejaculated in a bag before and then went to like your like drug scale to weigh it or something? I don't
Like
know.
I
no,
think
but you know, like,
we can
surely you
all,
have
as
a feeling
intelligent
about it,
human
you know?
beings, understand what would be a lot. You know, like if like we
If
know
I
what
have-
a lot
if
is.
I have, well, so you're asking if I have a like a good amount of sperm.
Like a
and
fat
what-
load
yeah.
is what we're asking, not
You know,
necessarily the sperm.
it's not about like we're not like taking the microscope or whatever, you know.
Yeah, it's
Like, it's
fat load or
about-
not. Answer the question.
Yeah.
I don't regularly see comparative loads in my daily life, but I would think it is a pretty
Man said regularly.
adequate. I think it's a
Like-
pretty
like, would you
adequate
say, like,
load.
If you could assume on how much a regular load would be, is it a fat load, or is it like a regular load, or is it below
It
average?
depends on the amount of stimulation, but I know that I can have pretty fat loads. Are you
proud of
satisfied?
that?
Are you satisfied?
Is it something you
Yeah.
like
Is
about
that
yourself?
is that something that gives you pride? Would you like put it on your Tinder bio? The load fat. What up?
Yeah, I wouldn't know about that, but I am definitely satisfied with the functionality of my genitalia.
Are you?
Yeah.
How do you quantify the functionality? Like, what
Interesting
makes
question.
you think that you have a really functional genital down there? You know.
Mike, I know you have shown me this Brian Johnson meme where he compares the age of penises, and what did you have there? Like a banana. Then you had like, what was the second one?
Well, I think what you're talking about is it's about the angle and about the
Yeah,
level of.
it's about the level of
stiffness.
hardness. Yeah, like
Yeah.
and I think I'm at the I'm 23, pretty I think pretty a pretty good amount of testosterone. I think I'm at the cucumber level, so I'm very satisfied with the health of my penis. Are you satisfied with the health of your penis, Mike?
I don't know. I think it's all right, you know. But it's
Well,
not like
give
I've
us some
put it.
insights. Give us some insights, Mike.
I don't
Mm.
think I've put it to test enough to know its full functionality. You know.
Yeah. Have you
Kinda real with that one.
have you ever had penetrative sex, Mike?
No, I haven't.
Why are you gonna air him out like that on the pod?
I'm sorry. That was kind of mean. Okay, Mike. I don't know.
Have you ever had penetrative sex in the hole? Your hole?
in my hole?
Mm.
No, he hasn't been packed.
No,
sadly.
I
Yeah.
haven't been.
So you're
No,
just as lame.
no. Okay, but okay, all right. I mean, I haven't been pegged. I had like a small dildo up my ass, which is like fair enough.
That's cute.
I think.
How
I
about
think
we
men-
unpack that one? How
I
about we
think
don't just
men-
throw that one away?
I think men in general are, especially obviously heterosexual men, are way too quick to dismiss the potential for stimulation the anus
I
offers.
100% agree with you. But I also I counteract with this. I have a friend, and her finishing move when she, sucks someone off is swift finger in the arse. Unconsensual fingering of the prostate.
You know, I would like that.
And
I don't know about...
but my qualm with that is it can't just happen like that, you know? Like, bro's gonna be questioning.
It has to be consensual. It has to be consensual. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of heterosexual men are really, they don't even realize what they're missing out on. Like, you know, a nice rim job goes a long way. I've preached that for years. I've really I've been sat there at house parties, and I have just really tried to make clear to everyone that they should consider asking people to lick their assholes. I really think, you know.
I personally, like, call me lame, but I haven't tried that. What's in it for me? What's the pleasure like? Preach it to me. Convince me.
Okay, so you have both never licked an asshole or gotten your asshole licked?
No.
That's pretty sad. Okay, so how it feels like when you get your asshole licked. Obviously, licking someone else's asshole is not, like, particularly exciting, but, well, I mean, we're obviously going from a presumption that first you go to the shower and, you know, you get yourself...
Let's get straight to the point. Okay.
But when you get your asshole licked, it really feels like a nice little breeze down there, and it's like a nice sensual tingling, and really, really, yeah. I think you should ask people to lick your asshole. Also, it could be, honestly, I think there's some respectful quality to it. It's like a sexual sort of intimate greeting, maybe something like that. I really think people should lick their assholes more. No, I think this would be, honestly, I think this would be good for society. I think people licking their assholes more, I think this would do wonders for society.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that we're bringing this up because I think it's kind of helping us to answer the question where it all went wrong a little bit better again. Because
it always comes back to that one, huh?
Closest I've come to having penetrative sex was in the presence of Julian. And I remember quite vividly this time. I think both of us must have been about like 6, 7, maybe even a bit younger. And Julian was at my house, and at home I had this little closet with costumes. And oh yeah, Julian is putting on the sunglasses because he doesn't
want this to come
out. But yeah, like I had this plastic sword, and suddenly Julian comes up to me and he's like, "Oh yeah, wouldn't it be fun if you took the sword and tried inserting it in my anus?" And I think I went on and did it
consensually, obviously.
I think
did you do it?
Very consensual.
Did you do it?
Sorry.
Did you do it, man?
Yeah, I did do it.
Okay.
You were spreading your cheeks, and I was inserting the plastic sword.
What the fuck?
As far as that was possible.
That's just
so here I quite gotta, you know, I gotta give it to Julian. You know, he's consistent in his passion for promoting promoting
healthy
the
sex
use of man and their prostate.
Mm-hmm.
So, well done, Julian. You're an ambassador, I'd say.
Well, I mean, with you, obviously, I'm preaching to the choir, but
yeah. Funny.
Yeah. Oh,
I
nice
thought that was
sunglasses,
kind of funny.
Carly.
Thank you. I just felt so inspired.
Yeah.
I felt so inspired by you. You know, we're just so similar.
Thank you. Well, maybe.
Let me refer back to our magic list. So here I've got snus and psychopathy written down. What do you think that could be about?
About myself?
Yeah, well, considering you're the guest, I would assume
So
that would have something to do.
You're suggesting that I have psychopathic tendencies?
Getting there.
Well, I wouldn't say we're suggesting anything, but like,
it's quite
I don't know.
quite a vile assumption.
No, but I would say you're visibly quite fond of yourself.
Yeah.
Where do you think that originates from? What do you think are the implications of that? You know, what really is the purpose of a person like you in society?
Well, I think, as far as I'm concerned, I think I'm here to entertain myself. I think that's really what it's about. And I frequently think of other people, and I wonder, like, if you're not as interesting as myself, like, how do you even enjoy living? Like, if it's not entertaining, it's not entertaining. I mean, if I think if I was Carly, I think I would be pretty entertained as well. If I were you, Mike, no, I think I could still kind of do it. Like, it would still work.
I think I would blow my brains out if someone said that to me.
But honestly, there's just so many. Yeah, there are just so many deeply uninteresting people. And
that is kind of real, though. That is kind of real.
Yeah, like
the whole NPC trend is kind of real. There are so many NPCs out there. Not to sound like Andrew Tate, but
I feel like we're getting too philosophical again. So can I switch the topic?
Let's switch back to the compass or shit.
Yeah. I think one of the really frequent topics of our podcast is people with a piss kink. And Julian, actually, we haven't really talked about that, but you would strike me as a person who would, play around with it a bit.
I guess I'm the first person on the podcast who has drank piss before and who has peed on people before. So yeah, it's not
what
nice.
A day.
Really, it's really not nice.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't.
You don't like it? It doesn't taste good.
No, it doesn't taste good.
What if you were just having some concentrated piss?
Honestly, most most of the really freaky kinks, I don't think there is anything like pleasurable in itself with them. I just
I feel like you can't really, Julian, respectfully, you can't drop this bomb. I'm the only one on the podcast who's pissed on people and drank piss and not really give context to it. Please enlighten me.
Yeah.
You can't drop that bomb. That's not how
was it the same
Prophet Owl works.
What do you want to know?
I want to know what were the circumstances leading up to the occasion.
I think I'm for once going to be respectful here and not publicly.
Don't air out the person, obviously. Just let me know what's up,
Yeah. So we just we had a nice day, and at the end of the day we were like, okay, getting a bit aroused, thinking of maybe trying out something kinky, and then we went to the shower, and I first.
Oh, it was in the shower.
Yeah, of course.
Not of course.
No. I think the pissing outside the shower. I just think that's porn. Like if you. Why would you do it on your fucking bed? You're gonna have to clean that mess up afterward. But so we were in the shower, all right, and I was like squatting down and receiving a little shower there, not the water kind of shower. What?
Was it with a man?
No. It was with a woman, and then I proceeded to eat out
Oh, with the piss, like marinated in
yeah,
piss.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of nuts.
I proceeded to it out. Well, I in terms of
what does it take? Did it have like a little bit of like bite to it? What was that about?
Yeah, you definitely. It just tastes like piss, man. I don't know. Have you never? I don't know. I would assume at least that's what I've done as like a teenager. You just try out all the body fluids available, and then you just I don't know. You have you never tried it?
How does your cum taste, Julian?
Yeah, that's the magic question.
It depends on what I eat before.
Very correct. Very
yeah.
correct.
But have you done like a self experiment where you tried?
It's coming from his own mind. Like,
that
self-experiment that he's just thought of right now.
You haven't tried. You have tried that, Mike, haven't you?
Never before done.
No,
just a self-experiment.
Not really.
Why wouldn't you try that? Why wouldn't you try that? I just think that's a very like obvious experiment, And what I've tried is the aspartame, like in like sugar-free Red Bull, for example. That shit. Apparently, it is used in the porn industry, and porn actors sweeten their body fluids with it. And I've tried that. Works really well.
It's really bad for you. It's really terrible for you. It's like you're really gonna give yourself cancer for that. Totally it's really terrible for you. Kind of worth it. To be fair, honestly, real, like sometimes it tastes like battery acid. I'm not about that lifestyle.
Yeah. So, actually, the first time I tried it wasn't. I didn't try it myself, but I just happened to like drink 2 or 3 sugar-free Red Bulls before I had coitus, and without asking.
I said coitus.
Without asking, I really got the feedback where the lady was like, "Oh yeah, that tastes sweet." I was like, "Damn, this shit works."
What an enlightening story. Back to the piss thing.
Yeah, back to the piss thing. All right. So, yeah, I ate her out with like the piss on the puss, and I have to say here, I really like I don't think that body fluids are like disgusting or anything. I don't know. I've eaten out pretty bloody pussies before as well, and I
Saltburn.
Yeah, Saltburn. Oh, good one.
I'm a vampire. That was cringe. When he said that, like I actually paused. Spoiler warning, Mikey. I actually paused my computer. I just had to sit in silence for a while.
Don't give the spoiler warnings to Mikey because I think he's really gonna enjoy the movie.
I said this to him yesterday. I said watch it so we can talk about it on the podcast. Did you watch it? No.
I told that to him before, and he didn't listen to my advice. So if he watches it now, then I will feel personally insulted.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch it now. Actually.
Yeah, that's how it works. Reverse manipulation.
It's a good movie. Like it's not as good as everyone was making it out to be, but it is pretty like funny. There's a good little bit we can talk about.
But yeah, so to finish off the story, after that, after the climax in the part 1, it was my turn, and my turn to urinate, and then it was the same thing reversed, and then afterwards we had a little sit down and like reflected on what we just did, and we were like, yeah, it's not really that nice, really. So we didn't do it.
Oh, again. Was it a mutual conclusion?
Mutual sentiment, yes.
How disappointing! How disappointing!
Yeah, it's fucking piss. I don't know what people expect.
It's kind of killed our dreams.
There's some people out there who like it,
I don't know, Carly. Did you, before this conversation, did you have an interest in like pissing on someone or being pissed on?
It wouldn't be something that I would personally be aroused by, but I wouldn't mind doing it. I wouldn't want someone to piss on me, for example, or in my anywhere the vicinities of my mouth. Call me boring.
That's fair
But
enough.
no,
No,
that's
I
my
think that's fair
boundary.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's my boundary.
Julian, I'm not sure if we've ever actually touched on that. Maybe because there's nothing to touch at, but I think Carly touched a quite interesting subject, and that will be if you ever had like some sort of intercourse with a person of the same sex.
Me?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, and I don't know when I was a teenager and when I was in Brazil, I made out with some guys, but I really didn't feel the vibe. No,
What was
I actually
Brazil
wish I was
like? Oh no, keep going.
pretty fun, pretty fun. No, I really wish I was bisexual. I would just like to, like which sexually active person wouldn't like to have their pool of potential sexual partners doubled? Like,
Mm.
I think that's basic maths.
Yeah, to be honest, like it kind of doesn't work like that because obviously not every guy will be interested in sleeping with you.
That's
And
true,
not
but
every
also
guy is
there's certain
not
number
every
of
woman will
guys.
be interested in sleeping with me. So
That is very
yeah,
correct of you to say.
yeah.
What's your weapon of choice?
My weapon of choice.
Tinder, Hinge.
Well, I'm a Bumble. I'm a
There we go.
Bumble.
How come? Why's
Yeah,
that?
why Bumble?
Well,
What's so special
because
about Bumble?
because I don't have to write first messages.
So describe to the viewers who perhaps don't know what Bumble is, how that works.
Well, it's more or less the same as Tinder, but women message first. Or only women can message first, and your matches expire. But yeah, I always felt like, on Tinder there are many more people who just, farm likes and have their fun with that. But yeah, also I can make a confession here, which is that, like, a year and a half ago I spent $200 on Bumble Premium Lifetime, and like a month later I got into a relationship, so it really didn't pay off.
That sucks.
Well, you could say
really
it paid
sucks.
off even more. You could say it paid off even more.
What does Bumble Premium even consist of?
Like unlimited swipes, and you can see your likes and all that kind of spiel. Yeah.
Is that how that all went down? You saw your likes and you were like, hello. How'd that work?
Well, and I was like, oh yeah, I like you too, and then, well, perhaps they sent me a message, and I'm like, yeah, hello. How's your life been?
Interesting.
Very curious. Mike, I know you're an avid Hinge user. Tell us
Yes.
why you like Hinge.
So, I mean, first of all, I think it's fair to say that I don't really like dating apps as a concept overall. I think they're quite addictive sometimes in a really bad way. And
100% agree with you.
I don't think that the way dating apps work is necessarily healthy for a person like me. But I think the nice thing about Hinge is that you just it's kind of similar to Tinder, but it's just a bit more intellectual, although it's not really intellectual, but it's a bit more intellectual. And it kind of gives you quite a few features for free that you wouldn't have available to you on Tinder. So, for example, you can kind of pretty much see all the people that like you, and it's not as many as on Tinder because it's like liking somebody on Hinge is a more conscious process, I guess, than swiping. Like you have to press a button, and then you have the option to like add some text to it or something like that, and you really have to choose what part of the profile you're liking. I think that's similar on Bumble as well. But you can like go back to previous profiles as well and all this stuff. And you can change your location without having to pay for premium. So that's quite nice. And I think it gives an option to show just a bit more personality and character because of the option of like leaving a comment on other people's profile. And
but I feel like that perfectly plays
really
into what both of those. I feel like it perfectly plays into like what both of those apps actually are trying to do, because, well, I speak from a female experience and like female friendship experience. Like for me, everyone I know uses Tinder like for hookups, you know, which is why you don't really need to know much about them. Like one sentence bio, kind of we leave it there. And then the people I know who have relationships and who have partners that they met on a dating app, it usually is Hinge. So it's kind of nice how
you
it
know,
happens.
I don't know. I think I've been thinking about that quite a lot recently, and you know, after meeting my more conservative family and seeing how dating in regions that are more rural and smaller and maybe more family based works. You know, I was really starting to question the concept of Tinder and the choice you get. Like I feel like over there, and perhaps it's similar in many parts of Italy still. But it's like it's you kind of get like introduced to somebody that your friends know already and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
There's not many people around that would be potential partners, but because you don't have as much choice, I feel like the people there don't get as obsessed with finding the best match. Because
the best
I don't know,
yeah.
like,
that's definitely how it feels as well.
When you go on Tinder, there's like 5 people out of 100 that just stand out, or maybe 5 people out of 1,000 that stand out. And obviously everybody is like trying to go for them. But like the chances are pretty slim that you're within the 5 people of the other person as well. So I feel like that can kind of mess with you, you know? Yeah, well.
I love this soundboard, man. I've been trying to get a soundboard for ages. I feel like Discord only has these fucking 8 sounds, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, maybe I should link up my DJ pult or whatever, my turntables for the next time, because they have the little buttons and you can kind of link sounds to them. So I could even make like a little on the spot remix, you know? A remix of funny noises.
Remix. I like that. I like that a lot. We were trying to get that for the earlier episodes, but it never works. Who would know why?
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Have we left any body fluids untouched?
We've done cum, we've done piss. There's no shit or vomit. Any funny shit or throw up stories? I think on my behalf as well. I can't think of any. Surprisingly, I can't believe it's been 8 months and I haven't got a good shit story for you. Really says how boring my life is. As of now.
Yeah, well, Mike, have you told the shit story of our anonymous friend, the London shit story? Have you told it in the pod?
Told it. Yeah,
that one was
I haven't
great.
told it in the pod. So, yeah, Julian, a friend, and I went on this interrail through Central Europe, and we ended up in this little, quite nice hostel in London, and it was the first night, and we were just planning out to go out in Shoreditch, and I'm not sure if you know it. I think it's called Dinerama or something like that, like just a little food court thing. But we're kind of late because we just arrived, so we were really pushing to get out, and we were already outside, and our anonymous friend just realized that after, I think it was about 4 or 5 days without shitting, the person we're talking about suddenly had the urge to shit, and I think the shit turned out a bit more substantial than we all imagined. So after like 15 minutes of waiting outside, we decide to text her and ask
What's
you
up
know, how the shit is
with
coming
that?
along. And I think at that point it was still coming out, but pretty quickly after, we got messages about some clogging issues on the toilet.
Ooh, that's the worst.
And
That is
I
the
feel like
worst.
that's where it all kind of went wrong. Perhaps like 15 minutes after, like 30 minutes after we wanted to leave, Julian and I decide to inspect the situation. And
Brave.
I'm going in there. Yeah, I decide to go in there, and I'm like, you know, it can't be that bad, you know, like certainly, you know, it's not that hard to just flush the fucking shit. But
Mm.
it can be really hard if you use a lot of toilet paper. And I was
Oh, was that
presented
the
to,
Was it like
you know,
a
like,
noise muffling situation?
what do you mean?
Oh no. You know, like I once had this friend tell me this hack. She was like, if you need to take a fat shit in a public toilet, put loads of toilet paper down, and then no one will hear it, because the toilet paper will cover the like the first layer of water, and then it makes no sound when it splashes
No, I think
down.
it was more the fact that there was a lot to clean up for sure, you know.
Oh,
The shit didn't
okay.
seem to
Like
have the nicest
so it
consistency.
was
And
so it's diarrhea we're talking about here. It's wet.
No,
yeah,
no,
I
no,
mean,
no.
like
For
at
that
that point it might have
person,
been
for that
dissolved, you know.
for that person, it was a regular shit. It was just that they had a shit like every 2 weeks. So it was
Yeah, it was like the point is it was a massive shit, and the toilet
Okay,
paper
okay,
was clogging the toilet, and because the
right.
person tried to flush so many times, the shit was right up to the rim. So the first thing that I tried doing is there was the plunger, and I went in really heavy with the plunger, and after a few pumps, the plunger breaks. The gummy of the plunger broke. So at that point, we get really desperate. I'm screaming at the person, kinda, to just go in there with the hands and just open it because it's really not that. Come on, it's really not that bad if you think about it. It's like just shit, you know. Like, come on,
Yeah, it
shit
is
is
for
not.
sure. You're so right.
It's just like the things you have eaten, and it's you know it's not that bad. You go there
I
with
feel
the
like
hand,
we're
and
quite conditioned though to think it's so dirty, so it's so
yeah,
hard
but
to
you know, like you
get
use it
over
as a
that.
fertilizer. You know, maybe not human shit, but like you
Yeah.
know, like a lot of you know crops or whatever are fertilized by cow shit. You know, or like at least a lot of
Mm.
grass.
Mhm.
And so you know, I'm thinking, you know, it's just a bit of shit, and if there's no worms inside, you know, like you could really go in there and just do it for the sake of everybody else. But yeah, that didn't end up happening. So we go to the reception, and the reception guy is like, "Oh yeah, you know, just put a little bit of
Can I ask a
um,
question?
yeah,
Can you just leave? Were you in a
what?
public toilet? Were you in a public
No,
toilet
we
it
or
were
was
in a
in
the
a
hotel?
hostel,
hostel's toilet.
in a
Can
hostel,
was
and
it like was it a lot of toilet? Was it a lot of stalls, or was it one toilet
it was
per hostel room?
well, it was more toilets, but
There were
that
two
particular
Filling
toilets
you
in
up with
toilet,
the
blood.
entire hostel.
yeah, that toilet was the toilet next to the common room. So it was a really small toilet, but it was like, you know,
Right.
just like a door under the stairs and there was a toilet.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I go to the person at the reception who's responsible for the whole place, and he was like, "Oh yeah, just put a bit of you know, like toilet soap or something like that in there, and tomorrow they're gonna try to resolve it or get the plumber or whatever." And I think that's where I can went wrong because I just like I decided more is better, so I poured like approximately like a fifth quarter of the ball in there, and
Nice.
we just called it a day. We didn't get any food anymore because it took us. I think we ate some pizza in Shoreditch, which was nice as well. But like we had to change plans, and the next day, which was the day we were gonna leave, I decided that I wanted to take like a quick look at the situation in the toilet. You know, maybe it magically resolved, which would have been quite nice. And the toilet is blocked off, and I go
Ooh.
in there,
Is it rising?
and it was it was very quite rising. Yeah, like the toilet soap I put in started to foam up, and like the whole toilet was like foaming over, was like brown foam,
Ew.
and it was really quite a messy situation. So we're seeing that shit. We're deciding to get the fuck out. We're like, oh yeah, so sorry for the toilet, and yeah, we never saw the guy again. Rumors are that
Unreal, I
the toilet is
guess.
still blocked. I don't think it's unblockable. I think it's
The toilet's still
quite permanent
overflowing.
situation. Yeah.
It's quite
So that's
telling
shit
on how big
story
that
that we
shit
have.
was. Props to your friend.
Yeah. It's quite
I was
funny. I feel
thinking
like
if I had
when
any
I was
fresh
younger,
ones.
I quite had a problem with like shitting myself a bit. I told you about that.
Yeah, you did tell.
Yeah.
This is like my favorite lore about you. Tell me how
I can-
your
Man,
parents did to resolve that.
I can leak
Well-
to the public that it hasn't changed. Still quite a frequent occasion.
I never encountered any issues when I was living with him.
Yeah,
Shit
no,
wise.
What do you mean? Quite a frequent occasion?
No,
like-
it's like if you had a dog, not a well-trained dog, and then just randomly encounter like these little piles of shit in like the corners of the house. That's how living with
Yeah, I
my
think
dog.
Julian is attempting to make a funny joke,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure if it quite landed.
Yeah, I'm not getting it
no,
either.
it didn't.
I
didn't,
don't think it
didn't.
did.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
anyways,
sorry,
If
I'm
you're
sorry.
trying to get at his hygiene a bit, I think we need to take a step back and think about when you came over to my house for Comic-Con and you wore the same tracksuit bottoms for 4 days. 5 even.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't think I see him wear any other trousers. And to be fair, I think I'm wearing my jeans quite a lot. But like, it's I feel like it's kind of okay with jeans. Like,
You want to see the trousers?
And you
I'm
alternate
wearing
them as
right
well.
now? You
Yeah.
want to
Alternate
see the trousers I'm wearing right now, Mike?
yeah.
You're not wearing any trousers, so I don't want to fall for that. He's going to show us
Look
his
away,
underwear.
Kali.
There we go. These are the trousers I'm wearing right now.
What's on your thigh? Did you get a new tattoo?
Yeah.
Why did
Cyberpunk.
you mention that? What is it? Is it Cyberpunk?
Yeah, it's like a tarot card from Cyberpunk.
Do you want to know something?
Yeah.
Tarot cards might have originated from Naples. That's where I'm from.
Can you see this?
I learned that. Wait. Can you get close to the camera, please? I can't see.
This doesn't work. Well, I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, please do. I want to see just the
Well-
tattoo, nothing above. Nothing above and nothing below. I don't want to see feet or balls.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
full nude here.
What's your opinion on nudes?
Well,
I guess you're a man, so like I'm asking you your opinion on male nudes, really.
I
Everyone loves
honestly
the
think
female
I
form.
think the male body is pretty disgusting, and I think it's hard to take good nudes because the male body is pretty disgusting.
Well, I think
Yeah, I
your
would
male
have to
body is
agree with
pretty
you. That's
disgusting.
overall.
But it's quite interesting. There is a story about that. I think it was in 2018 approximately. Julian, two friends of mine, and I were in Zurich, and I think because of some weird bet, Julian, and that's like, I don't know. That's a very weird outcome of a bet. But this one guy, who had a girlfriend at the time, dared Julian to send his girlfriend a picture of his dick, if he loses like
Nice.
some weird bet.
Nice.
And
Classy.
Julian ended up sending allegedly his first nude to the girlfriend of one of my friends.
It actually was my first nude.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah,
And
because I always thought, oh, might be better not to send nudes, but then, well, I mean, I've sent more nudes since then. Yeah.
Yeah, they always tell you not to do that, you know. I remember one time, the first nude I ever received was from this boy that we had a bit of a weird relationship with. And I was with my friend at a sleepover, and she took a picture of it on her phone. And then she showed everyone in the school, so he thought I was sending it around when it was actually her.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of safe to say that the relationship of my friend and the girl didn't last for that much longer, and
Who would have
I
thought?
think seeing Julian's dick might have contributed to that just a little bit.
I don't even want to think about that image.
Yeah. Did you get any compliments on it in the aftermath of it?
Well, it's not like I spoke with that girl about this incident. So
Yeah,
no.
quite weird situation, huh?
Yeah, but
Anyways,
pretty fun. Good story.
yeah, Kylie, what's your opinion on nudes?
I don't know. I feel like they're like, I'm not very attracted to like the male form most of the time. Don't want to see a penis. I really don't want to see a penis. I don't like find it sexy, but like I can understand why a man would want to see a naked woman. Like we're hot, you know. Like it makes sense
What about sending them?
for the man. Once again, the patriarchy at work. I don't know, because I feel like if I sent them and let's say I'm in a relationship, if they had screenshots of my nudes, then we broke up, I would expect them to delete them, but not all men are very on that wavelength. It would like make me uncomfortable knowing that
nudes, you know, that's kind of like a thing that you shouldn't really do or that you wouldn't do.
Yeah, it's kind of like I feel like there's this logic of like, oh, it's your girlfriend, like have naked pictures of your girlfriend on your phone. Like all the women I know have sent nudes to their boyfriend, you know? Like it feels like it's a pretty natural part of our society right now is to have that concept, you know? And it's weird because what happens after? Like how can I guarantee that that picture's not on his phone anymore? You know? And I went through like a bit of a weird schooling phase. There was this guy in my year. We were so young as well. I think it was in like year 9. So we're like 13, 14 years old. This guy in my year would collect all the nudes from all the people who were in relationships. And he would collect them and he would sell them to people who wanted them. So he'd be like, oh, like, I don't know, like, I'll use a fake name, like, oh, like Rebecca's nudes, like I have them, do you want them? And then he'd be like £15, £30, £50, and then he would give like a percentage to the to the boyfriend, and then he would keep that. But like that is so deranged.
Let's be clear about that. Like the guy was pretty much selling child pornography at that
point. Yeah,
point.
it's child pornography at that point.
And I'm not sure at which age you can be like sued for that. But man,
it's
this
nuts.
guy is getting into
I always think about that
for a few pounds, you know.
I always think about that because whenever I remember I saw him a couple of years into uni, I think after second year, and I brought up something that my friend had done that I didn't agree with, and I was like, oh, like Highgate, this school I went to was such a weird time, and he was like, yeah, I try not to think about it too much, like obviously because of this scandal, and he was like, oh, like you do weird things when you're young, and I'm like, when I was 13, I never thought of collecting nudes and sending them around to make money. Like that was never something that went through my mind. I think when I was 14, I was watching Teen Wolf and like reading fan fiction about Dylan O'Brien.
So like, no?
He's just got that mindset, you know. He's on that grind set.
Yeah,
the entrepreneurial spirit with the child pornography.
Yeah, man.
I remember there was this one girl, I won't say her name, but she was like one of the more popular girls in my year. So everyone wanted her nude, you know, like it was like all the boys. It was always like the weird boys would want it, you know, like not like the normal men, you know. Like it was like the weird incel Reddit boys would be like, oh, I want this girl's nudes, yeah. And I remember she found out that her boyfriend had sold them to this guy, and I think they had like a physical fight in the tuck shop, just where we used to like buy snacks in the break time. Yeah, that was kind of wild.
Yeah. You know, like I wonder what Julian's opinion as a philosopher is about that, but I don't know. I feel like the interesting thing nowadays, or like the thing I feel is that like I was thinking like how would I feel if like my nudes got leaked or whatever, something like that, you know, and in a way I feel like I would be kind of indifferent to it, you know.
Yeah, like, I agree.
Like on social media I'm already exposed to so much it's like really a lot of soft porn, you know, like
Yeah,
and it
porn rot
happens
brain.
to almost everyone's Instagram account, for example. I think, you know, like you would get hot girls, whatever. I don't know, and you know, also through the rise of OnlyFans, you know, it's kind of like it's almost become like quite socially accepted to just like, you know, have that part of you out there and
Yeah,
quite
exposed to the
accepted.
public.
Mm,
You know what it
yeah.
is? Like, it's the porn rot brain. Like, the avid porn watchers in the chat right now. But it's like, it's so bad for you, and it was so normalized at one point in time, you know, like to just have that be your main stimulation. And I remember I tweeted about this actually. I saw that some guy quote tweet that like Renaissance sculptors were like doing it, like that was like their version of porn, and it was like this and that, and it was just, that is such a petrifying take, because that is the best example of porn rot brain, is taking something that symbolizes purity and like regalness and like turning it into something sexual. I feel like that's like exclusive to people our age right now. Just sucks, like just because of like all the OnlyFans like empowerment, like this is the whole like liberal feminism thing of saying, oh, like sex work is empowering, all of this, like pushing that rhetoric onto young women. It's just like, it's so infuriating. I actually don't even know where to start with that one. That whole can of worms.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a quite strange topic, right? Like I think that's not at all related to porn, but like especially in Germany or Austria, I feel like there is a quite big community of nudists, who, you know, they're just going like to a nude area or a nude beach and chilling out there, you know, and in a way that was certainly a thing, or is certainly a thing that's like kind of like, you know, that like I wouldn't see that happening in the UK really. And
No, I think people here
I
are
guess
just
like
very,
there
very
it is a
reserved.
fair question why that is, you know, like because obviously there was a time where, you know, nobody had privacy when they were fucking or whatever, because animals kind of don't do, and nobody was wearing clothes and stuff like that. So I guess there's like some, you know, like there's some societal construct around that,
No, for sure.
and
I would
the
love to
question is
talk to
like
like
if
someone who
it's
does
worth,
sociology about it.
if it's, yeah, like I just wonder if it's worth a thing to break, you know.
I don't know. I don't know,
Like I don't know
man.
if you've noticed, Julian, but like in Austria, if you go to a sauna, like everybody would be nude. But I think in the UK it's quite common to like have a towel or whatever, you know.
I know, yeah,
Like
I know, but that's because our sauna culture is imported from Scandinavia. Um, I do in fact know of like nudist communities in the UK, and
Of
I
course
think
he
there are
knows about
nudist
them.
community. I do think there are nudist communities around the world, really. Um, yeah, it's. I guess I'd have to think more on that, but well, I think one thing we can agree on, and what seems pretty obvious, is that we have a, a very strange and unhealthy connection to nudity in modern society.
Yeah, I
And
would agree.
nudity,
sorry.
yeah, I don't think nudity should be inherently sexual.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%. It's so
but yeah, well,
very
yeah,
sexualized society that we live in. I feel like I saw this girl talk about Jackass. You know, like we've all seen Jackass, right?
at some point,
Do you know,
quite
have
a
you?
while
Yeah,
ago.
so like she was basically talking about how there could never be an all-female cast of Jackass, because basically what they did for Jackass 4 is they were getting some backlash on it being like a man thing, and it was like, oh, it's misogynistic, yada yada. So they basically invited this one woman, and she like basically does none of the tasks. Like she does one of them. Like it's just the more like eating ones. She doesn't do like the gruesome ones or the inherently painful ones. And so this woman was basically saying, oh, there can never be an all-female cast of Jackass because it would just be soft porn. or fetish porn, really. But it would never be that for men. Like for men, it's like haha, funny. These guys kicking each other in the balls. But if it was like women getting electric shocks, it would be like porn, you know? Like there's that category on Pornhub. Or oh, like the vomit stuff, it would be vomit porn, you know? Like there's no escape, bro. Like there is no escape. What would one do? Well, I need to be free, bro. I need to be freed from this hell, from the patriarchy and from hell. It's the patriarchy, bro. I actually can't. I can't. Oh well. You know, the other day I said that if I had a boy,
to the patriarchy.
What?
No, you continue, Carly.
I was gonna say if I got pregnant, because I was talking about this with my cousin, like if you got pregnant and you found out that the baby was disabled, would you abort it? I said I would abort my kid if it was a boy. I do not want a boy.
Really? That's a bit hard.
I'm like kind of jesting, but I don't know. I feel like there's just, I don't know, what happens if like he becomes a rapist or assaults someone and it's like you're the mother, you know? Whenever I hear about these assaults, we all know, we all been new, like my school was full of rapists and like men who would assault women and all that lovely jazz. And it's like I actually feel for the mothers because they're sitting there thinking like I've raised this child, like something I've done has influenced them to be like this, you know, in a way. Not that that's true, but that's probably what goes through their mind. Because I feel like everyone likes to blame.
I would just think that as a parent, I would want to raise my child in a way where my child is not going to be a rapist or assault someone.
I feel like everyone thinks that, but then
like isn't everybody trying to do that? You know?
Yeah, like that's what everyone does. But then it happens, and then what? Because we're in a society where that sort of behavior is not normalized, but almost we're like treading that line. So you as a parent, like as a mother, you know,
you're rightfully gonna feel guilty.
I just don't want a man. Like I don't want a man in my house. Like I just.
Do you want children?
I'm half jesting. I really am half jesting.
Yeah.
Do I want Julian?
Yeah.
Do I want children? I feel like. I mean, I don't want children now. I don't want children now, and I can't envision myself wanting children because I'm stuck in the mind of someone who's 21 and I'm very immature and I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I don't really know what to do with myself yet. So I have to figure myself out before I can take care of another human being. But I can imagine myself in the future having children. I can imagine that being something I do. Yeah. You know, I've got to be enough.
Tell that to my mother, really. Like she should have had that mindset.
Yeah, I find it quite sad. I was having this conversation with my dad literally yesterday because one of my cousins got pregnant when she was 20, and I was reflecting on I'm older than my cousin was when she gave birth, and she wasn't even born in like the 60s or whatever. Like she's like a 80s, 90s baby, or not 90s baby, but you know what I mean. And she's quite young. She's like a millennial. And I was thinking like if I got pregnant now, like my life is at a point where like I know nothing about my future. I have no idea. I have no drive. Like it's all stuff to be figured out. And then you'd be responsible for a life. Like I just couldn't do that. Abort the podcast.
Abort
plan.
Abort
the podcast. You can abort the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we're having a nice conversation and you kind of want to leave.
You can leave. You haven't been
contributing much good stuff, you know?
I think I've contributed quite...
well, we already know what you think, but, you know...
Yeah, well, yeah. I was just going to say, I do feel a slight tiredness, and I'll have to get up
you know, that's what I really hate about Julian, you know? It's so... Like, as soon as he gets tired, he gets, like, immediately insufferable. It's like, you know, he goes, like, from you know, full power to, like, 0 within a minute. And I never see it coming, and it always annoys me, because I always get energy.
It's true. I feel like I usually have energy. Not all the time, but I feel like I narrow out around 3 a.m. I'm not very fun on a night out these days, like late in the night.
How come?
You know, I don't know, I get so tired, like, because I sleep so terribly, like the horrors, you know, they keep me awake. So like, I sleep really bad. I have really bad like interrupted sleep, you know. So it'll be like 3 a.m. and I'm out and I'm like, I just want to be home. Like I'm so tired. I just want to go home. I don't have the energy that I had when I was 17. I want to say, I don't know. Like I see it the most when I do all-nighters for like work and stuff. Like whenever in uni I would have to do an all-nighter, I was like, I can't do this shit anymore. And then I think about like when I was at school and I would just get 3 hours of sleep and grind out the next day. Damn. What a waste.
Yeah, yeah. You know, for me, like I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, like when I was younger, I think I went on weeks was getting like 2 hours average a
Mm.
night. You know, I was kind of fine with it, but like nowadays, I'm just so tired of this whole bullshit. It's like all my fault for not having a good sleep schedule, but like I could just sleep for ages. I'm just you know like. I don't know. Like having no drive is really a really
Firing.
bad issue, and I don't know. Where it comes from, and perhaps it's like kind of my fault in a way. But yeah, maybe we
No,
should keep that topic
that's
for
real
the
as
podcast.
fuck. Different podcast, me and you. The driveless, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. I feel like they're like Julian. You know, is a nice guest. You know, thank you for spending like 2 hours with us. You know,
Thank you
but
for enlightening us, but
like let's
we
be
are
honest. You know, like
the main
that was
characters.
like I think you know like without Julian we're just fine. You know.
You know, we get
Well,
by.
Yeah.
I think you do,
But
but
maybe we just get
I've
boring.
got
I'm
the
just gonna invite myself on the podcast again.
Yeah, to talk about what?
I'm
I
gonna
think we
block you on
really
Discord.
talked about piss, shit, cum.
Yeah.
We've talked about all bodily fluids with you. You know what
We
else is
haven't touched
left to talk
vomit,
about?
but there's really nothing much we need to ask you.
Yeah.
We've
Well,
covered the triad, you know, the
I
holy triad.
do think there's some. I've got 2 good vomit stories, but I'm gonna keep them locked until you extend another invitation to me.
Mm.
Well, then that's gonna be hidden from all of us forever, which is quite unfortunate.
Quite unfortunate,
But
really.
yeah.
I've got a
Well, why
scab
don't
in
you
my
start your own
ear.
podcast then? Hmm?
Yeah, do your own podcast by yourself. The fucking monologue. I've got like
Yeah,
a
how about you invite
scab
us?
in my
How about
ear.
that? You know, Julian, I haven't been invited by you for a long time, you know? It's like whenever I tell my mom about what my services to you are, she's like, "Oh yeah, but you know, back in the day in kindergarten, Gabi, you know, invited you this one time or this few times,
well,
you know,
because
like
my little sisters are
you
over
owe
most
him."
of the time.
But I'm like, you know, like I owe Gabi, and I don't owe you. You know, I owe your grandma a lot.
What's up with
Like
your
we
little
have,
sisters? What's up with that? Do you get along with them?
Yeah, I do get along with them, and it's pretty exhausting, but I do get along with them.
how old are they?
5 years old. They have said some very profound things.
Like
Oh,
what?
so.
Last time one of my sisters came in, she was like, "Oh, my sister is thinking all the time, and I don't know what she's thinking about, and this is kind of worrying me." I, as a
Oh
5 year
man,
old,
you're kind of like
that's pretty
Elon
tragic.
Musk talking about his shitty son. You know, oh he just said this and it's so profound. He just said this thing. Like, was LA there 2,000 years ago? Is it gonna be there in 2,000 years? So fucking profound. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You call your son XA something, you know? Nobody can fucking pronounce it. You got like some fetish with X, you know, like space X X XA something, you know, like just you don't have like any authority to speak on how smart your son is, you know? Like you ruined his fucking life by giving him a shitty name. Be honest.
It is pretty tragic. I agree.
Like imagine signing with that name, you know? Whatever.
Well, it's an easy signature.
Should we do a little outro?
We could do.
Should we? Yeah, I mean,
We could
maybe
do a little
put your
outro.
fucking phone away So
Sorry,
we
I'm
can
just
do the
replying. I'm making a plan for tomorrow.
yeah, okay.
Sorry,
So
guys.
I'm gonna do the outro. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Or why don't we give Julian the honor to do the outro now that he couldn't do the intro, which he really wanted to do? How about you do the outro?
Well,
can you do it maybe
have a
with
good
your
time.
nipple not showing and assaulting my eyes?
Well, I think maybe I should get even more naked for the outro.
Why are you wearing a shirt with no trousers? Oh god. Ew.
What do you think of the hairiness of Julian's chest? Do you think that's quite impressive, or do you think it's quite? Do you think there's anything to it?
I think it's kind of lopsided. I feel like there's more hair on the side with the boat.
Yeah, that's true. No, I think that's just the.
Do you shave your chest, Julian?
No, I don't.
Is that
I'm proud of my chest hair.
Good for you, man.
It looks like a disease. I don't know. I've never seen chest hair like that.
It's like scabies.
It's like you had a chest hair implant, you know?
Yeah, it looks really sparse. Like, why is it so
The hair's
sparse?
out of your head, you know?
Well,
Mikey, pose with the mic.
Should I pose with it?
Yeah, do what you did before. We're just taking a
Okay.
quick thumbnail again. Wait, let me get my flask, my hip flask. Wait. Not ready.
You got it?
No, get your nipples out, Julian. Got it.
Great.
What a gem.
Amazing.
What an amazing thumbnail, really.
Yeah, I bet people can't get enough of us, you know?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna be so happy with having that thumbnail of Julian presenting his
I think after this episode, people are gonna want me back. That's what I think. I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too sure about that one. The people don't want us either, so I doubt they'd be so accepting of a nude, partially nude, balding man.
Thank you very much for the accurate description.
Just to give the people like a picture, you know.
But yeah, it actually was it was a pleasure to be on Profit Hour, and I'm looking forward to be back. I am expecting payment next time. A share of the profits. A share of the profits. Which
okay,
is
so to conclude,
it's gonna amount to 0. So you know,
you don't know that yet, you know.
Well, and you know, with me in the podcast, anything could happen. But yeah, it was a fun time, and I'm gonna let me just scratch myself.
What a sight to behold!
Yeah, I'm gonna head off to Dreamland. I'm gonna have a good time there, and yeah, I
Man, can you stop it already? I can't take.
It's quite painful, isn't it?
Okay, Kali, do you want to do the outro? You know, like we want to end it on a good note, and
it's a lot of pressure, but you know, it feels good to be back. That's really all I can say. It feels good to be back despite Julian's presence, and you know, it's only up from here. We got hella to talk about. The horrors do persist, and we're going to talk about them. We're going to address them.
It's kind of funny. We wanted to make this a New Year's special, a New Year's Eve special, but we didn't kind of get around doing that, you know? Like,
do you have any resolutions? We can end it on that.
Well, I always have resolutions and they never work out. So this time, I don't think I'm gonna do any resolutions, or maybe I'm gonna do like really, really bad resolutions. You know, like maybe that's what you should do with your manifesting. Like just manifest really, really bad things, and then they turn out fine. You know.
Yeah, that's literally what I've been saying this whole time. Like my manifestations kind of go in reverse, which is why I say like oh my god, like Mindy Hacker, we didn't fuck, you know? So it makes me well.
Yeah, but it's kind of pointless because most of my suffering, like, it comes from things that like some things you just can't really change, like.
That's so real. This time last
know.
year, way before, I was going on about like how, oh my god, the suffering and the weight of the human condition, and I was like, why do I feel like this? And there's nothing wrong with me. But now I actually have a plethora of reasons to be upset about things. So maybe 2024 is dealing with those.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse.
It always does, but then it will get better.
Yeah.
It's got to get worse before it gets better, guys. That's what I've been telling myself for years. I'm still waiting for that hug. We are, guys. We are.
What they say at the stock market, where your dad works.
I think those are good closing words. I think those
whatever.
I think those are good closing words. It's gonna get worse. I think that's very profound.
Thanks, guys. I really try and work on my poetry. Well, yeah, you've been listening to Prophet Hour. And episode 4 of many. And we wish you the best. Oh yeah, hit up Julian on his socials if you can find them.
Peace out.
Have a good 2024.
Got a really funny Twitter, he thinks.
Oh, well, I know all about funny Twitters, so.
Yeah, I know. I can't compete with you.
That's so real. Okay, that's enough with that. Bye, whores.